My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast.
Sure is.
It's Canada Week.
It's a beautiful week to celebrate.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land. Oh, sorry. Every time there's a hockey classic down here, and they do one every year.
Yes.
When we go, I may stand and sing "Oh Canada" rather passionately.
No. Okay. It starts on the way
to the
hockey
in the car
classic,
park,
where he and his brother will just start bursting out with "Oh Canada" as we're walking through the car park.
Hey, the car park joins us.
Yeah, and the car park joins in. Then we're walking to the stadium, and it comes out again. So we're warming up, at least 3 renditions before the time when they have to sing. And they don't have to sing, but they sing. So, yeah.
Yeah, the American team's never popular, just so you know. So, they're never popular. So anyway.
Yeah, back at the ranch.
Yeah, this was Canada Week, and we, in true Canadian style, lost a Canadian legend. I know.
I just feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice by, rushing through. We're not rushing through these episodes, but basically we've done one a day since we come back from Adelaide. And whereas we'd have Jude for 4 weeks, it's only a week in to watching Canadian Bake Off.
To be fair, Jude is so Jude-erific.
Yeah.
That it's like we've had it for about 8 years.
It is. It really is.
It does really feel like we've had it for about 8 years. And a couple of things came back. And the thing is that how many people can, in 4 weeks in a show, you watch them and you go, that's so... there were things tonight I just looked at and went, that's so Jude. Some of them really positive, some of them involving not measuring things. So there was a lot of that's so Jude. And by the way, before we start...
Yes.
Thank you, Jude, for reaching out to confirm to us that you did indeed never blind bake. Scouts Honour never blind baked the pie. So kudos. Thank you for that. And thank you for that bit of knowledge.
And thanks for liking us.
And thank you for being wonderful. Anyway.
I love you, Jude.
And again, a big hello to the bakers who are listening to this and living back what happened a year ago for them. Well, over a year now.
And who are now, up on what a cheesy might scroll and a cheesy might pull apart might be.
They're learning. They're learning about Australia, and can't help but feel we're doing a good job of international relations at this point.
Exactly.
Ambassadorships, here we come.
Exactly. So watch us for the embassy. We'll have diplomatic immunity.
Oh, God. The one thing we don't need is diplomatic immunity. So let's get into it. So we started with a
tortilla.
Tortilla, there we go.
Although I did love the real opening, which is Dan, and I called her Emma because I couldn't remember Julia's name at the time. Again,
not a bit for the podcast. Legitimately, all sorts of names.
Yeah, I'm going, what's her name? It's Emma, isn't it? And you look at me and go, it's Jenny. Oh, no, that's right, it's Julia. I got there eventually. On the balcony, this is so Canadian. What's more Canadian than this? I just love Emma/Julia's and how too far that was. Oh, now I know I'm fucked.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So we got a really interesting... Now, again, meat pies...
are very Australian as well.
They're very Australian, although, again, not as much pork traditionally in one of our... So it's kind of a blend.
Mostly beef.
It's kind of a blend, realistically.
And smaller.
Well, realistically, though, but you can do the big ones, and I make big meat pies anyway. But it's basically a blend between an Australian-style pie and a British-style pie, because the British pie is a pork pie.
It is.
And the Australian one tends to be more beef. So they're a blend, unless you're James or you're Vandana. We'll come to those two in a minute, because I'm hurt. But...
No, he's being considerate. Your spirit animal is considerate.
We're not going to talk about my spirit animal just yet.
Okay.
Right, we're going to keep that powder dry. I don't want the disappointment to show too early.
Okay.
So I'm torn. He disappointed me and one-star baker. I don't know how I cope. So anyway.
Look, I didn't know about tortillas until tonight, and I am down.
You're down for them,
down for the tortillas.
Exactly. So Jude sort of leads us off on this merry dance. We say every week, Jude has done the most Canadian thing ever.
Yep.
This week, Jude's most Canadian...
Hold my brewski.
No, Jude's most Canadian thing ever
Yes.
was, I'm going rogue. I'm throwing in some more bison.
Yes. This is great. I told you, hold my brewski, more Canada.
We're going to miss the so Canadian Jude.
Oh.
I mean, look, but she got it out in Canadian Week. That's the important point. Now, there were a couple of things that I noticed very early on. First of all, Terry with her Christmas Eve one now.
Oh my gosh.
A few things. First of all, she says she makes it, puts it in the oven, goes to Mass, comes back, everyone has it, and a present.
Wow.
It's my birthday, so you can make me one for my birthday. But
you are just my fucking idol, Terry. Like, I could not be that organised if I tried.
And furthermore, you know what made it even better?
What?
Bacon.
Oh, everything's better with bacon.
Bacon.
She essentially made the Ron Perlman pie, not Ron
Perlman.
No.
Ron Swanson is what you're thinking of.
The Ron Swanson pie.
Kristie is having a great week for naming things.
Oh, I'm really, really good. Okay, so
Ron Perlman's a fine actor, though.
He is a mighty fine actor.
He might like bacon in his pie. Ron Swanson, on the other hand, would like his pie wrapped in bacon.
He would, you know.
So
it's the turkey leg
wrapped in bacon.
Yeah.
It's called the Swanson. So bacon in the middle of that was good. James, again, we'll come to what he made in a minute, but just the image of James not even wearing goggles that are onion goggles.
Yeah.
But clearly Speedo had provided those.
Okay, here's a little pro tip, right? When you're chopping your onions...
Pro tip from an amateur.
Hey, no, I am fucking good. I am Julia Child's level when it comes to fucking onions, all right? So here's pro tip when you're chopping up onions. So cut them in half, but do not... You can skin them, but do not take the roots off. You want to leave the roots on the onion, and you're going to cut up to the roots, and that is going to contain the majority of the bloody moistury fumes that are going to sting the shit out of your eyes.
Also,
yeah,
if you want to be a bit more fashionable about it, what I need you to do is, as I said the other day, look up Monica Carvalho, Moorish on Instagram. She's also on Moorish Cakes on Instagram, on Twitter, on all of the social medias, and go and ask her about her onion goggles.
Oh, they're amazing.
They are spectacular.
Dame Edna, eat your heart out.
If you've seen Dame Edna Everidge...
possums, I'm cutting some onions.
If you've seen Dame Edna Everidge, and I'm pretty sure you have in Canada... then Dame Edna style goggles are incredible, and Monica had a pair for her bake-off experience, and they were wonderful.
They were just
they were fashion statement.
So you can either go with me leaving your roots on, or go for the goggles.
Or you can be James, and you can be prepared for the rain outside. And that
I did like his little, swimming through the...
Linda maintained her amazing run at the moment.
Oh, my gosh.
She went with a traditional... but her traditional one had Shiraz, which woman after my own heart. Yes. And then she went with a chili sauce, a sweet chili sauce.
Yeah.
To sort of balance that up, which looked really good. So I'll bring it back to Jude. We're going to come back to Jude a lot because obviously it's our last chance.
Poor Jude.
Now, what I loved was that Jude, on her way out the door, has created a children's book.
Yeah?
It's a new Dr. Seuss. It's called Bison, Lamb, Turkey and Yam. So Jude has got a lovely book called Bison, Lamb, Turkey and Yam, and I'm hopeful that this is released worldwide.
I hope it stars a jelly-filled jellyfish.
A little bit of a grainy one. But
a little purple starfish as its mate.
But I like the idea of her releasing that Dr. Seuss-style book. I hope it gets published, and if you haven't done it yet, Jude, take that title, run with it. It's yours.
We just asked for 10%.
10%. That's our stock standard. Our stock standard, 10%. And you can pay us in Canadian dollars if that makes it better.
Or jelly-filled jellyfish donuts.
Either or. Look, either or. If you can transport those to Australia, more than better.
Come along.
All right, I've avoided it. I'll get there.
Come on.
My spirit animal is a vegetarian.
Okay, you as a humanist don't understand the whole idea of your totem animals. I mean, okay, I'm a white person using appropriated language here, but essentially they're your guide, but they're also there to challenge you. and
I'm being challenged.
You are being challenged. But as our dear friend,
Which one?
the male judge.
The male judge, Paul Hollywood?
No!
Bruno.
I was about
When you said the male judge, when I go male judge, it's automatically Paul Hollywood because that's his Twitter handle.
I wanted to call him Raheem for some reason, and I don't know why.
Raheem!
It's got nothing to... I know. Fuck my brain. It is...
As Bruno was saying...
Yes, as Bruno was saying... It is the meatiest vegetarian pie. He doesn't miss the meat. So you have to understand, your vegetarian spirit animal has still produced a meat flavour. Experience.
He also used beetroot. Now, you know, my views on beetroot, which are not very Australian views on beetroot, it must be said.
No, and what I loved tonight was the little Australianisms that popped out of Rochelle.
Yes, you got a name right.
Because I know, because I had to give up Raheem, apparently. So Rochelle's gone, beets, the flavour, the colour of beets here, blah, 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 and she's gone, the beetroot flavour, and I'm like, that's the
And the way she said it wasn't like it was a very, very Australian beetroot.
Beetroot.
So she got very Australian for beetroot. I'm not a big fan.
Her other one was Bang On later on.
Yeah, Bang On later on was another good one.
Yeah.
I'm not a big beetroot fan, so
I reckon if you ate it, you'd enjoy it.
I might, but she did say the flavour.
Your spirit animal is challenging you, Chris. You've got to go with it, otherwise it'll come back to haunt you.
So,
you won't advance in this life.
So what happened?
And I'll be a fucking goddess on some ninth dimension, and you'll be still muddling around here, learning how to deal with beetroot. We can't have that happen. You're my soulmate.
I will be eating a Swanson. Although I won't be because it's turkey. I don't like turkey. So, God, the funniest part is about this, people just seem to be hitting the couple of things I don't eat. Like, I eat a hell of a lot of stuff.
No.
There's a couple of things.
There's quite a few things he doesn't eat. He doesn't eat tofu. He doesn't eat peas.
Well, tofu's not real food. Don't criticise me for peas.
Look, I just don't eat peas. I'm
peas
pretty
are the
good with
devil's
everything
food.
else. Peas are the devil's food. Peas are the devil's food. I'm not saying they're not. Okay. I'm just saying that I don't like eat peas, and you don't like tofu, beetroot, what did we just say? Peas.
And turkey.
And there's a few other things that I will remember. Bamboo shoots.
I eat bamboo shoots.
Oh, there's something else like that.
You can keep thinking. Anyway.
Water chestnut. Olives. You don't eat olives.
I will eat some olives. Thank you very much. I will eat some olives. But
yeah,
I thought to myself, well, this is okay. So my spirit animal is a vegetarian. I can cope with this. Look, I'll just ignore it today because he's also using beetroot. I'll ignore it today. I'll go to my favourite baker, not my spirit animal. I'll go to my favourite baker at the moment.
I'm just going to pull us up here. We need to call him your Patronus because we're using appropriated language.
Okay, my Patronus.
Yes, sorry to our Indigenous friends.
Okay, so anyway.
Okay, your Patronus.
So I went, well, he's vegetarian. I can ignore him today, though. We'll go to my favourite baker in the competition. So my favourite baker has become Vandana. Right? She's become my favourite baker.
It's Krista's favourite baker. And Vandana. What did she make ya?
She made vegetarian. She made vegetarian.
Delicious vegetarian though.
Chickpea and cashew.
Yeah.
Now,
do you not eat chickpeas?
No, I eat chickpeas.
Checking.
If I didn't eat chickpeas, I would struggle with much of the Indian food I love.
Oh, yeah, and hummus.
And I would struggle with hummus, and I'm a bit of a fiend for hummus.
We had some nice Indian food tonight.
We had some very nice and amazing.
I hope you've digested well.
Yeah, and some amazing poppadoms along with that too.
Okay, so they just had this massive bin of poppadoms at this Indian restaurant we went to tonight. And they just scooped them up. And it was cause usually when you go to a restaurant here in Australia, they give you maybe 4. Nah, they were fucking generous. And so our friend we were dropping another friend off who had, Leah, was going back to Gabby's place. And I jokingly said to Gabby, we'll bring you back some poppadoms. She says, it's always a good time for poppadoms. Well, plastic bag full. And it was just scoops after scoops after scoops of this takeaway poppadoms. So she's got poppadoms for years. Papa don't preach. I'm in trouble deep.
Back to the shed.
Yes.
Sorry, not the shed.
The pavilion.
The pavilion. My bad. Back to the pavilion.
Yes.
So she made vegetarian. Now, my actual only issue with what she made is that she made what was realistically more of a tart. It was very flat and very thin. Yeah, but that was the only issue with it.
Yep, the rest of it
I have no problem with
I
have no problem with the rest of it. Yeah. My thing is, if you're making something that is traditionally meat, make it meat.
I did say the one thing I forgot to mention about Jude's, because we can go back to her as often as we want.
We're going to come back to Jude in a minute because I've got more Jude coming.
Her hot watercress pie. I just fucking love those. Like a good pork pie with a hot watercress pie. Oh, thanks, Jude.
Now, back to my Patronus, who also said that when he thinks of Canada,
yes,
he thinks of rocks and Christmas trees. First thing I think
Rocky
of too.
Mountains?
No, that's America.
Don't they have some in Canada?
They do have some, but the Rocky Mountains.
They share the Grand Canyon though. No,
No.
Don't they?
No.
Yeah, Canada.
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. Oh.
Grand Canyon's in Arizona. That would be a really big border.
I'm really fucked with geography. I know where the second largest canyon in the world is though.
Yeah?
Kapiti Valley. You know how I know that? My dad lives there.
Oh, God.
Okay, we're going on a bit of a tangent. We will come back to these.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just sit in the car waiting while the tangent goes.
Okay, so my dad lives in this little country town that if you blink, you'll miss it as you pass through it. It's called Kapiti. Now, they've recently got a mobile phone tower. I know, fucking insane. It did take a really horrible tragedy to get that in, but we won't touch on that, so I'm keeping it positive. Now, there is controversy in Kapiti because there's two Facebook pages. There's the Kapiti Valley Facebook page where they can put up announcements. They tell each other when the fire trails are happening and all the bits and pieces. Check it out. It's fantastic. There was a big robbery. Someone's troll dolls, I shit you not. There is an alert out because someone's troll doll collection got stolen. But that's not the controversy. The controversy is that one guy was kicked off the page because they didn't like his truth. So he's created the real Kapiti Valley Facebook page. Now I've joined it and I found out what his truths are. A lot of racism. Conspiracy theories.
He's a conspiracy neo-Nazi nut.
But he's calling out the truth, like the pictures used in the local council's visitors information billboard aren't from the area. They're from like France and other places.
No, stock photos aren't from local place. In news just a hand, water is wet.
Yes.
So
I encourage you to go and look at Kapiti Valley
Go and look at the proper one. Don't look at the real one. Don't give him credit.
No, don't join that one.
So with that in mind,
yes.
Back to the pavilion. So Jude at one point goes, "Oh dear, those are a little crispy," and what she's referring to is her burnt maple leaves. She didn't they weren't crispy; they were burnt.
Yeah.
So let's get to the judging because this pie has gone on forever. James.
Yes.
Now Bruno said he didn't miss the meat.
No.
So look, I have to give James credit.
I'd have eaten it quite happily, James.
I wouldn't have, but it looked good, so well done. Jude had too much clove in hers. Julian's was okay, they said, but it was a bit dry. It needed more fat in the pie.
I'd like to try that sauce.
The sauce looked quite nice, actually.
It starts with a D. It's I've never... Dion Django sauce.
A Dion Django.
I presume so. It starts with a D.
Right. One, if you could tell us what the actual sauce is called, that would be great. And secondly, and far more importantly, tell us what you think goes in a Dio Django. I'd love to know. At home, what do you think comprises a Dio Django?
Sauce.
I suspect there's Dijon mustard in there somewhere. Linda, as we said, everything was just well balanced and excellent, which you can basically just always say for Linda.
Yeah.
Well, that was really well balanced.
Consistency.
Sabrina. Now, unfortunately, Sabrina has been on fire in this competition.
A teenage witch went down here tonight.
Her pie open and picked it up, and it just collapsed.
Crumbled.
In a heap. It just fell apart.
Reminded me of the rissoles I cooked for my ex-husband. It's like, shit, that's why I should have kept cooking. Anyway.
It was bitter. Terry's was just generally excellent, and they loved the flavour of Vandana's chickpea and cashew.
Yep.
So again, overall, not a bad challenge. I thought it was quite interesting that two of the best pies in the meat pie challenge were not meat pies, and they kept referring to them as meat pies. And all the jokes they gave Dan.
Yeah.
Were jokes that involved the words meat pie.
I do wonder if Julie is vegetarian because she was in on those pies like it was like going out of fashion.
Or she was just hungry.
Yeah.
And if I was in there, I probably actually would have had some of James's because I just would have been hungry.
Yeah.
That brings us to the technical. Now, the technical is Maple Leaf Creme Cookies, something which I'm not going to lie, I just feel like was invented for the show. So
I presume there's something that you do. It's like we don't have an Australian
we don't really do that.
Don't have an emu-shaped cookie.
Like some people, what about Dunkaroos? They're American, they're not Australian. It's like most things which seem to be Australian food, like Outback Steakhouses. No, not us. Not us.
We're not snacking on a bloomin' onion or Chookaburra wings. I tell you what is Australian. Tim Tams, they're pretty good.
Tim Tams are pretty damn wonderful. Won't lie, they're pretty damn wonderful. And I was actually talking to someone at the post office about this, and they said that the most posted item overseas
Tim Tams.
is Tim Tams. If you've never heard of a Tim Tam and you're in Canada, look them up. They are amazing. They are magnificent. If you can find someone to smuggle them in for you, do it.
And then you can do a Tim Tam slam.
Tim Tam slams are pretty damn good.
All right, back at the ranch.
Back at the ranch. So what the maple cookies were, they're a shortbread dough, maple cream inside. They need to have a bit of a crunch.
And they need sugar sprinkled on top before baking.
So they need a crunch on top with the sugar, and then a softness in the middle with the cream.
And they are in the shape of a maple leaf, and there's usually indentations. We'll just explain it because we've found out a few people are listening to the podcast without actually having watched the show. So something that they might not be familiar with, we're explaining.
Yep, they're again, as we said, for those people listening overseas, this isn't shown in Australia.
No.
As I said, the ether is supplying us with our episodes.
And you can also find it on Daily Motion.
Yes, although I'm going to pretend we didn't say that because I don't want to take it off Daily Motion.
Oh, sorry.
So
you can find it on things.
You can find it on Motion Daily. You can't find it YouTube, so don't go there.
Do we want to rewind back and delete that part out?
No, I'll leave it.
All right.
So, yes, the authorities are listening.
Rupert's on the
Rupert's on. Rupert, if you're listening, please Foxtel. So I love James's reply to this when they're talking about the dough and he's mixing and he goes, this is what Linda makes in her sleep, basically.
Yes.
And then they cut to Linda and she just goes, it's just a basic shortbread with a bit of maple flavouring in it. So, yeah, it's like easy. And she's just like, yes, it is. Now, one of the things, we've mentioned this before, but one of the things we actually really love about this show is they're so mean on the technicals.
They are.
Like, again, no quantities for what goes into the icing.
No.
They gave them all the ingredients, so they didn't have to make any of it. The maple butter was there, the normal butter was there, all the other ingredients for the icing were there, but no quantities.
There was so much butter in the tent in this particular episode. I was wondering if Maggie B was circling in her Maggie copter waiting to swoop down.
To take down for the dragon hoard of butter.
Yeah.
And take it all back. And it's interesting watching the Canadian bake-off because, of course, all this butter.
Yeah.
None of it Devondale.
No Devondale.
# you ought to be congratulated. That's a joke for the locals. Okay, so this is where Jude went and had her "That's so Jude" moment. Because Jude was tasting all this, like the maple butter, and going, I'll put a bit more in there because it's just so good. Funnily enough, when they got to the tasting,
too much butter.
Jude had too much butter in hers. I loved Dan in this challenge. Now Dan,
right there.
Dan was for Australian listeners. Dan was the Mel Buttle of this challenge. So Mel Buttle, one of the two Australian hosts, she's very good at appearing at just the right moment to get the little bits of leftovers.
Classic scene of Mel Buttle is, I think she was talking to Olivia, she's like, where do the extras or the offcuts go?
Where do the offcuts go? And pointed at her mouth, and Olivia just puts them in there.
That's right.
So Dan was just wandering around looking for random cookies that weren't being used. My favourite was when he went to Linda, and Linda's like, well, you can have that one there. I put my thumb on it. And he's like, oh, so you're not even going to use this as a bottom layer? So you go, no, they have to be perfect. And while she's saying this, Dan's just devouring the cookie and going, okay, fine, if I have to taste this, I'll be back. And off he went. So Dan was getting a lot of cookies out of this.
Thank you, Dan, for, doing a service for the pavilion.
We thank you.
Canada thanks you.
Us at home, we thank you.
Queen's honours for you.
Indeed. So let's get to the judging of it first, and then I'll tell you who came in what order. So Sabrina's, unfortunately for her, they were inconsistent in terms of the colouring. Some of them were really light, some of them were quite dark. They said there wasn't enough cream in the middle of hers either. James's, they said the cookies were really good, but he needed more cream in the middle of it.
Yes. The ratio.
Some of them, and again, that was the hard bit because they were all trying to work out how much cream you put in the middle.
And it turned out, Rochelle said that it needed to be the filling needed to be as thick as the biscuit.
Yeah.
The cookie, sorry. We call cookies biscuits in Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're chocolate chip cookies, in which case we call them cookies. And we're getting more Americanised, so we do say cookies quite more frequently. But
Not
as often. But they're still biscuits. Okay, so back at the
Linda.
Yes.
They were what you would expect from Linda. They had an amazing flavour of maple, and they were really good.
Yep.
Terry, unfortunately, had too much sugar on top, which ruined the flavour.
As she said, she caters to children.
Bandana, on the other hand, had no maple flavour at all.
Now, just on that, Terry is super mum. When her kids have play dates, she makes fucking donuts for them.
She does indeed. We'll come to that in a minute when we talk about the donuts. So, Jude, too much sugar, not enough filling, too buttery. Kind of a big 3 strikes there.
Yeah.
And at that point, she was in trouble. Julian's were pale, but they were a good cookie.
Yes.
But he needed more filling again. So the order. Jude was 7th, and that was not a shock. Unlike previous weeks where she's managed to get into the top couple and she's looked stunned. This week was not.
Yeah.
Terry came 6th, which is a bit of a shock for her. It's a bit of a drop from where she has been. Sabrina at 5th is a bit of a shock for her.
Yep.
Vandana was 4th. Julian was 3rd.
Yep.
James managed 2nd, which was amazing. And Linda was 1st, which is not really amazing. It's just Linda.
I thought she was up for Star Baker, but...
Well, she was up for Star Baker,
but then...
somebody else had a big week. So let's talk about the showstopper, which was donuts. Now, I was interested in this because it's Canadian week.
Yes.
I understand the importance of Tim Hortons and I understand how big Tim Hortons is over there.
Yeah.
But the idea of donuts, I'm like, well, are they Canadian? I mean, what's the connection? I found the connection. Did you know Canadians consume the most donuts per capita?
Wow.
And Canada has the most donut stores per capita.
Wow.
Tim Hortons is a very successful franchise. But yeah, per capita they consume more donuts and they have more donut shops than anybody.
Wow.
So that's why it's a Canadian challenge. Suddenly it makes sense.
It does. It does.
So you needed to do 12 donuts, 6 of 2 different types.
Yeah.
You could do whatever you wanted.
Now, Sabrina was in trouble in the last 2 challenges, but her production redeemed herself. She made poutine donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. She made her own marshmallow fluff, and she made s'more donuts
S'mores for the marshmallow fluff for the s'mores.
Yeah. Oh.
So she made s'mores and poutine.
And they looked so adorable and tasted amazing.
Poutine, you can actually find, not amazing, but you can find decent poutine in Australia. It is possible. It's becoming more possible by the day, but not as amazing, obviously, as Canadian poutine. Not always done with cheese curds, which is always disappointing when you get one which is just melted cheese. You're like, no, that's not poutine. That's not cheese curd.
And you can always get it at the Canada versus the United States hockey things for like exorbitant prices.
It is ridiculously priced, but you can still find it decently around if you know where to look in Australia. A bit like this. A bit like the show. It's in the ether. But those s'mores looked incredible. The marshmallow fluff.
The chocolate
and
inside.
when Julia came over and tested the fluff, and so, oh, wow. It looked incredible, and they looked stunning.
Yeah.
I loved Vandana talking about the fact that she was relying on which one to use. She was relying on 3-year-old taste testers.
Am I going to use the cake style or the yeasted? And she said the yeasted taste. No, the cake.
Your cake. She went with cake style.
Yeah,
so
cake
she did a Saskatoon berry white chocolate. There's those Saskatoon berries.
Yeah, not Saskatchewan.
No, and a sour cherry lemonade, which looked really nice.
I'm still going to sing Regina.
We still have to.
Experience Regina, which has been stuck in my head for the past week.
As it should be.
Yes.
So yeah, we haven't done that enough for Vandana. We need to do more of that. Need to win a challenge, Vandana, so we can do that as a celebration. I know we're trying to tell you to do something that is over a year old and already done, but still.
We'll just put it back in time, send it back through the ages.
Yeah, Vandana decided she was going to do the cake base. Jude decided she was going to make yeasted donuts.
Yes.
And again, these are the two different types that we're looking at here. And Jude went with the yeasted, and
I'm more of a fan of a yeasted donut.
And she threw the donuts into the proofing drawer. Terry's children were not there.
No, they weren't. And just hold back on your witchcraft there, Jude, because, you've gone grow as you've put it in there. And I'm like, oh, that's hit it with a bit too much force there, Jude. I mean, you already said you were channeling a lot of energy there. And I can tell you, if that's happening, you just got to subtly, encourage it.
What I loved was when they got
tripled it.
Yeah, what I loved is when they got to the judging and they went, oh, you think we overproofed it a little bit? She goes, yeah. She goes, it didn't double, it trebled in size. And Rochelle visibly recoiled.
Oh, my God.
She did. She was like, oh, my. Well, that's way too much. It's like, I was waiting for Jude to go, no, duh. So Linda decided to do ones with hockey sticks on top of them.
Which is so cute.
Which was cute until the hockey sticks melted, and then it just looked like roadkill.
It's hockey sticks with the impending climate change crisis.
But on the plus side,
yes,
maple bacon.
Maple bacon.
This is what I really loved about today's episode of this show.
Yeah,
there was bacon everywhere. There was bacon.
Oh, it's never
and not
much
that
bacon.
shitty American bacon.
No, good bacon.
This is what the fun is with watching Canadians. They use good bacon.
Yes.
So, good, streaky bacon. Anyway, Julian again confirmed to us the ethos of this show. So, Julian made a glazed canoe donut, and that was really fun and cool. And apparently the custard in that tasted really good.
And the oars sticking out were very cute.
And far more importantly, he went with Nova Scotia Rum Runner. And his comment was, I figure the drunker I get them, the better it goes.
Yes.
You know what? Yeah. And to be honest with, Julian kind of needed to get them very drunk. Because unfortunately for him, his run runners ran nowhere.
No, they had a flat tyre.
Yeah, the run runners were on the side of the road.
Needed to pop a Viagra into those little beauties because they needed help to rise up to the occasion, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Bruno used that pun and it was they didn't rise to the occasion and everyone pretended to laugh. And Julian looked at him like, drink some more fucking rum.
What he could have done, right, is like do them so they look like a inflatable ring that you'd use in the pool and just put like the little plug there open so like look like you had to blow them up yourself.
What, and just make them pretend to blow them up?
Yeah. And it's not going anywhere though.
Make him do it for 5 minutes until you tell him just joking.
Yeah.
Like you can blow a donut up. What sort of weirdos are you thinking you can manually blow up a donut?
Even Jude's going, that's too whimsical.
That's a range of whimsy I'm not comfortable with. I'm gonna miss you, Jude. So I loved where Jude got it out and looked at it and went, overproofing is bad. Again, just blanket statements that are quite accurate.
But I did love it that she's made a jelly-filled jellyfish donut. Like that is just adorbs. And then the little starfish. And then serving them in the little pail and like the beach pails. It's very cute.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
So Julian struggled to get consistent donuts, unfortunately for him. James went with two style of donut.
A cake and a yeasted.
That no one else went with, though. He went with the Cruellia, first of all.
Yes.
Which is, was really cool.
And his piping wasn't 100%, but...
No, and then he went with the Bagno as well, and they're very, very good.
And he used fresh peaches as well, so he did his filling from scratch. So he did a peach-filled beignet, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And they're round, and they just look delicious. I was like, oh, get those in my face.
So we had some really interesting ideas and some really interesting flavours in the donut challenge. Then we got to the judging. So Sabrina needed to rescue herself. She did. I think she rescued herself by the time they tasted the chips on the poutine donuts.
Yes.
Because those donut chips looked incredible.
Absolutely.
The texture looked superb.
And I think the cheese curds were made out of a bit of marshmallow.
Yes.
And then they had a caramel sauce over the top.
And so
of the
she was
gravy.
safe by the time they had the poutine.
Yeah.
But then they cut open the s'mores and they said the filling was stunning and the cross-section was lovely.
And Vendana's donuts, which we haven't gotten to yet.
No. We have. We've mentioned them.
Have we?
Yes, we have.
Oh, my God. I've just been... Oh, I'm sorry, Vendana. I do love you.
Yes, Saskatoon Berry White Chocolate.
That's right.
You got distracted by singing Experience Regina.
That's right. And the sour cherry.
But the sour cherry looked incredible, especially. The colour on those was so vibrant. And the judges loved them.
Yeah. What I loved most was how James served up his donuts, which was on this board that had a cutout of a moose head on the top, and his raspberry glazed were hung on the antlers, and then just a ring of the ones that start with B because around the side.
So
hello, good night.
So Linda did Linda things. Yes. The coffee flavour in her double doubles was really good. They looked incredible. Even with the melted hockey sticks, they looked great.
Yeah.
And then the maple bacon, and as Bruno said with the maple bacon, he said, look, bacon can go too far. He said, however, it balanced with the donut absolutely perfectly, and the flavours as a result were very well balanced. Again, that you could just describe all of Linda's bakes in this series as just very well balanced.
Absolutely.
It's the easiest way to describe them. Now, poor Julian, as we said, his canoes, apparently the filling of the canoe, the custard that he put inside the canoes was really good.
Yeah.
Michelle loved those in particular. And they looked cute. They had a good crisp to them as well. They were nice. Unfortunately, we said his rum runners went nowhere.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have escaped. They would have found themselves in the county jail.
Less of a rum runner, more of a... they would have
rum roller.
They would have got the participation award.
Terry, again, they said that she had a very rich but overly sweet maple glazed donut. So again, another thing where she kind of got the sweetness balance not quite on tonight.
But then again, she's always catering for her kids.
However, her marshmallow was amazing as well.
They look like there's these biscuits in Australia called Crowns that have got like a biscuit base, marshmallow on top,
and then coated in chocolate.
And I fucking love them. And they were always the fancy ones that my step-nana put out for us. She'd put out the Crowns, and we'd have those. Oh, I loved her. That was Flo, Nana Flo. Oh, I do miss you. And I only found out like 2 years after she died that she died. It's like, Mum, what are you fucking you married two of her stepchildren. The least she could do is inform me. I mean, my dad didn't inform me, nor my uncle, who's also my stepdad.
That story will come later, Canada.
Yes.
I promise you it's Canada. Canada, we are in Australia. We're not in Alabama. I promise you that. Okay. Jude. Okay, so they were overproved. As a result, they were very oily. The jelly was lovely, but unfortunately the donut was way too oily and the glaze on the other ones was far too grainy. There was really not any other way to put it. She had the worst week and she needed to do a lot better. Woo! Na, 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 na. Anyway, we had to get that in one more time. I know that was a really long bow, but we really needed to get that in because we're going to lose her and it hurts and it's shitty and it's crappy, but goddamn, you're awesome, Jude.
But, you know, I reckon we just start advertising the tour. The Listen to Your Bakes tour.
The Listen to Your Bakes tour.
We don't have a venue. We don't have anyone confirmed.
We don't have contracts.
We don't have dates. But, you know, tour's on.
There's no format.
It's not like it's off.
The most we've got is an idea for tour shirts, and that's about it. So yeah, look out for that tour. And Jude, look out for being on that tour. So yeah, look, I hope your family's ready for you. I mean, you're retired, as we know, so you've got some time.
Hope it doesn't interfere with your pension
or the gardening.
Or the garden.
Far more importantly, don't interfere with pumpkin
garden.
seasoning.
Yes.
So, no pumpkin season. Meanwhile, I do have to shout out my Patronus.
Yes.
It was so good to see him go from in deep shit consistently
Yep.
to Star Baker.
Yes.
I mean, it was wonderful. It was great. I mean...
And in true form, whenever it's like, the certain countries week, if anyone's from that certain country, they're not going to top it. So a POM won Canada week.
It got better. So a POM wins Canada week, making a vegetarian version of a meat pie.
Yes. Perfect.
Wrap your head around that, Canada. Wrap your head around that. A Brit won Canada week with a vegetarian version of a meat pie.
Yep.
That's all you need to know. Really is all you need to know.
But it's just so perfect. It's the perfect ending to what is a sad occasion.
It is a sad occasion, and we will miss Jude. We're hopeful this isn't the last we've heard of Jude. We're really hopeful. We'll see what happens with that. We may be able to have a couple of people have a bit of a chat to us. Let's see who the hell knows. So that's the end of Canada Week. And... look, it was a good week. Despite the fact we lost Jude, it was a good week.
It was, indeed.
The show's still going. I mean, we missed Dan on that challenge, obviously, because there was no Dan. It was a bit unusual, really. I felt a bit bad. But again, Julia carried the ship quite well.
She did.
So, he'll have to be back next episode because someone's going to eat those leftovers. Someone has to do it. And I suppose it probably should be Dan.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this has been another episode of don't worry, the cat's just trying to eat the microphone. So, it's a nice way to end it, really, isn't it?
It really is.
It
Little
kind
Senator Paupatine here.
It kind of sums it up. The cat's decided to eat
Our
the
black
microphone at the
cat.
end.
Yes.
So, this is another episode of The Washing Up. Up until next time, I'm still Chris.
And I'm still Kristie.
And we'll catch you all later.
Bye, Jude.